Welcome to Intentional Lounging, brought to you by Better in Green. We are back with another Thursday game. Last week, the boys did pretty hot. This week, we hope to carry on our heater. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading to Atlanta to face the Falcons. Falcons are 1.5-point home favorites. Wyatt, what do you think about this game, man?
Yeah, first of all, how many primetime games is Atlanta going to get? So it feels like they're always on primetime. I think the key to success, if you're a team that doesn't have any primetime games, go out and get a older quarterback, and then he's going to be the whole story. We saw it with the Jets, and then Aaron Rodgers got hurt game one, but then we were stuck watching Zach Wilson play on primetime like 7 times last year. Obviously, Kirko Chains on the Falcons, we're going to see it a lot. So if you're a team that's not great right now, because obviously better teams go primetime usually. If you're a team that's not great right now, go get yourself a quarterback and you're guaranteeing yourself primetime games. With that being said, I think this game's honestly going to suck. And it's going to suck in a good way because I think the Falcons are absolutely going to roll this game. Just like back in that Denver game, I'm not sure what you were on, Ben, but I believe me and Ethan are pretty high on Denver, and Denver ended up rolling that game 26-7. Tampa Bay is coming off a massive win against Philly. Again, take that with a grain of salt. They beat a Philly team without A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, with Nick Sirianni as coach. I mean, I don't have to say anything more after that. Like, it's a shell of a team over there in Philly. But it's kind of the same scenario. Tampa Bay was coming off a massive win against Detroit before that Denver game, coming off a massive win against Philly before this Falcons game. It is a divisional game, so I'll give them a little bit credit to get a little more up for it. But love the Falcons of this game. I'm taking a money line. I'm not messing around with a 1.5-point spread for the graphic. I'll take the spread here. But I think the Falcons get it done. They are, besides that week 1 game against Pittsburgh where they looked absolutely terrible, they could easily have won their last 3 games. They lost to the Chiefs by 5, but that did come down to the wire. Beat the Saints, who I have mixed feelings about the Saints, but they beat them. Obviously beat the Eagles there as well. But I think the Falcons roll here. The line kind of says it all to me. The public's already on Tampa Bay because of that win last week. I'm going with the Falcons. I'm going with the Falcons big, almost similar, almost identical to that Tampa Bay Denver game back a couple weeks ago, 26-7. I could see a very similar score here. Falcons win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of confidence here, but slightly on Atlanta, but really don't like this game. I don't know if I'll bet it whatsoever. Kind of like the under as well, which is probably going to be my initial look if I do get involved. Both teams have divisional opponents on deck. Tampa does have New Orleans. Atlanta has Carolina. This is a divisional game, so I don't think there's any look ahead. But if there were even a peak, it would be Tampa peeking ahead to New Orleans, not Atlanta. Short week, travel for Tampa, even though it's just Tampa to Atlanta. It's not far whatsoever. But, yeah, just nothing really separating either one of these teams. I kind of just trust Kirk, like I've talked about in the past. So I know he has a bad rap in primetime. He's actually kind of turned that around in his last 5 or 6 primetime games. He's actually performed pretty well. Tampa has a lot of injuries, too. I know Godwin and Evans are both playing, but their next 2, Trey Palmer and Jalen McMillan, both out in the wide receiver core. Antoine Winfield out again. Kalijah Cansey out again. I believe Viddyoze is back, but still banged up. And then I think the right tackle is also out. So already missing quite a few pieces on Tampa's team. These teams are pretty similar to me. I think it could go either way, but just for the graphic, I'll give out Atlanta. But I don't think I'll have a side in this game.
The good thing about when we're all on the same side is we either look like geniuses, but then nobody comments, or we all look like dumbasses, and we just get flooded with all the love from social media. But unfortunately here, I'm going to have to make this a boring episode and boring comment section because we kind of have the 3. We got Wyatt hardcore on the Falcons, Ethan kind of in the middle. And then I'm on Tampa, not as strongly as Wyatt is on Atlanta, not even close, but I'm seeing, and this can always be a little tricky too, but I'm seeing right now, there's 40% sharp money on the Tampa Bay money line right now. I'm seeing 31% of people placing the bets, 71% of the money, and 12% of sharp money coming in on Tampa Bay at the plus 1.5. Once again, that is the public side here, but with that sharp money coming in, and I think Tampa Bay is just a more complete team. Falcons, we're definitely the hyped up team coming into the season. I think, kind of like Ethan said, these teams are really, really similar. And when it comes down to the way Baker's been cooking and the way the Bucs have been looking this year, and then the way Kirk's been playing, which hasn't been great. But once again, you play in the NFC South, you don't have to win that many games to win the division. So this is a really tough game. I'm just going to go with the Buccaneers here, thinking that they get it done. Really, it's a coin flip. I'm more closer to Ethan than being a hardcore on the Bucs. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys play fantasy sports, you need Fantasy Sports Advice Network. You can get custom fantasy advice from us and other experts in the league. Also, download Sharps. It is the social media for sports bettors. Download Sharps. Use code BETT269. That's BETT269. We will be back on Friday, and you do not want to miss that, because we are now doing the weekly punishments, and Wyatt here is going to have an excellent segment doing some stand-up comedy for you guys.
In the ICU after catching a ride to practice with Rashi Rice.
Join us every Friday for those episodes, and we'll see you guys then. Peace.
Later, guys.
See you guys.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listening and cash out, that's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spots from the bottom to the top, hey. Shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast, Better in Green.